All right, today I'm talking about gutters. Gutters are the space in between panels, usually filled with white spaces and stuff like that. I picked this particular one so I could show you how I like to fill the gutters with all kinds of different things. Uh, I really don't like gutters in the long run in a lot of my pages because a long time ago I created this need for them. Well, technically I didn't create the need from my idiot writing partner did. I just started using the gutters to put more depth into my stories. There's this brilliant artist named Will Eisner who has done stories forever. He's long gone now, but the Will Eisner Awards are the highest compliment you can get in the comics industry. And not to mention the fact that the guy is just amazing. He uses the gutters, he uses the backgrounds, he uses all kinds of stuff in each one of the pages. He's a true master. Now, with me, I consider myself, I'm not a master. I absolutely wish I was. Um, in every way actually, but I do consider myself able to handle the basics things where the gutters are nice, white, and clean, to the point where I can fill them with other things and make them a part of the page. Now you can see on this page, you see the blue background that's up on the screen right now. There's these drawings that are meant to be phase drawings of adventures of her and Patches. You know, the kinds of things that a 4-year old will draw and parents will pin up on the refrigerator, things like that. That's the whole point of putting them on there, is so that we can see some things from Faye's perspective. And I wanted to include it on this page so that you could start hearing her voice and her experience. That's the whole point of it. This page has got a lot to do with her memories, and her memories have a lot to do with her decisions, so it's a big part of the comic. However, some things are best left just seen, not exactly explained. And sometimes the best places for those to go are somehow off to the side or in the background. You see that a lot in film with certain writers who are really trying to get more things on the screen. And that's kind of how it came about with me. You see, my writing partner back then on Inheritance, he was a filmmaker. And he would create scripts that were literally not possible to draw. Things with certain ways to put in action scenes and events on a page that just did or did not work. The compromise that I ended up coming up with is the technique of using the gutters to help tell the story. I would change the gutters, widen them, and put some things into them. And I'd get an extra couple of panels onto a 7 or 8 panel page trying to add things into the story. Nowadays, when I'm doing it, I usually try to add depth into whatever's going on, make the reader feel like they're a little bit more inside of the story, and allow them to kind of try to take the time and the space to deal with whatever it is. And I've done it so many times that now I can't stand empty gutters. I'll be honest. Like when I am looking at empty gutters in somebody else's project, a lot of times it'll actually freak me out if it's not done correctly. And I'm kind of addicted to using them to a certain degree. On Nod, I am going to try to keep bits of the dream world inside of the gutters as I go. Sometimes there'll be memories, sometimes they're going to be visual elements, all kinds of stuff like that. And you're going to see them on each one of the pages that I do. I was really proud with some of the effects and whatnot that was created inside of the first issue, and I definitely used the gutters to make sure that those were as present as possible in as many places. In other ones, there's also something to be said about gutters that are clean, able to let people move through the page, able to just be empty space because you got the right panels on the right page at the right time. On those, I tend to use black pages. It's something that I kind of inherited from being a huge fan of both James O'Barr and Drew Hayes, both from Crow and Poisonous. They use a lot of black gutters, mainly because a huge portion of those stories in both those books, well, they take place at night. And when you've got things taking place at night, things have to feel dark. They have to feel oppressive. They have to feel filled. And white pages with big white gutters, there's no other word besides empty, man. They can absolutely be useful. Will Eisner's definitely got some fantastic examples of where some of them are empty and white, and then other ones have words in them, and other ones have full blown drawings, and all the way down to the inks, and they're beautiful and gorgeous. And I could go on and on about how much I love his work. But with me, I really do love black pages more. But like I said, that's got a lot to do with the fact that a lot of the stories that I do begin at night. Damage is hunting monsters, and you can't really hunt monsters in the middle of the day. Well, not the kind of monsters that you would hunt with a shotgun. Those kinds of monsters you would want to hunt in entirely different ways. But in Nod, because things have to do with the dream world, because things have to do with basically another world of being, another perspective, another way of looking at everything, it has to do with that whole nightscape. And so I'll be using black gutters a lot. And then whenever I've got memories to use, whenever I've got otherworldly things that I want to be noticed in the background, those are always going to be popping up in the gutters. It's just a technique that I'm comfortable with now. And I hope that as you are reading and opening these pages, that what you're seeing is what I'm seeing. That you're feeling that the story has more depth as a result of it. Some kind of more either emotional or informational assistance to help you process the page. At least that's if I did it right. And if I did it wrong, it's going to look a lot like watching a comic book page that was made out of scrambled eggs. There'll be a whole bunch there, and yeah, you can eat it, but maybe I didn't use it the right way. At least that's what it felt like the first time I made scrambled eggs. Now, last two pages on this panel are down there to go ahead and convey a certain level of sadness. And it's also supposed to be all connected to the memories and the powers of where she is inside of the dream world. This is towards the end of her memory as she's trying to decide what is it going to take to go get her friend. Is she going to be willing to go through a portal into some other crazy world she doesn't know? And is she willing to risk it all? And so she's thinking back to the people who taught her what family is, taught her who her values are. She's talking about her mother, she's talking about her father, and she's remembering the last couple of years. She's remembering her life since Patches came into it, and it's helping her find the strength to make a decision. A lot of times in our own lives, if we take the time to sit and think about the things that are influencing us, and think about the things that inspire us, if we give ourselves enough time, the decisions answers are usually staring us right in the face. A big problem about life in general for all of us is that most of us either don't take the time to allow ourselves to process it, or maybe we already have it processed, and in all honesty, we just don't like the answer that's staring at us. A lot of times that anxiety can be paralyzing, and definitely what Faye's about to go through can be that. It's supposed to be that. It's supposed to feel that way so that when you're looking at this page, you understand what this little girl's going through. I know exactly what it feels like to lose my father. And I also know that if I had been given a chance to do something about it, I would have. But in all honesty, not everybody can keep that mindset in place. And here, her favorite person in the world, that beautiful teddy bear, is gone. And it's time for her to decide what she's going to do about it.